Hey, friends, thanks for joining another episode of Learning How to Master Your Mentality. Now, today, I'm going to shine some light on talking to yourself like a champion and how you can actually increase your performance and get over any obstacle you may have. I'm going to relate this to rock climbing with my buddies this past weekend. And so you're going to see the different levels of thought that I went through, and actually, so you can relate it to real life every day. And you're going to find a little bit of motivation and understanding and how it applies to every area of your life that you want to get better at. So let me jump right in. So I'm sitting there, it's indoor bouldering, is what it was. And I'm waiting on my buddies. And so I'm sitting there, my shoes are tight, and I'm looking, it's like, I haven't done this too much. I hope I don't make a fool of myself. I hope I don't fall and drop and get hurt. And, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So these thoughts pop up. It's like, hey, that's not master mentality kind of talk. What's going on? It's normal. We always have these fears and everything. So it's like, okay, now let me reframe. So you see this negativity creeping in. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't know. Stop. Let me reframe that. We talked about before, stop, replace. So what I kind of do is go a little bit overboard, a little bit more too confident or cocky, more better term. So I'm like, I'm gonna climb every one of these motherfucking things. And I'm gonna just be able to get it no problem, right? And talk to yourself. Well, all of a sudden now you get delusional. Now I do. It's like, okay, well, because I don't have the ability. I don't have the experience and the time backing me up. So I did just that. I tried it out. Now at least I'm feeling better. So you have a progression like, okay, I'm feeling better. I feel like I can tackle anything. And I go and I try this. If you're familiar with the system, the rating scale, I tried like a V5, I think it was. And these finger grips are like just the fingertips, and I'm hanging upside down. I couldn't even start. Okay? So then it's easy again to say, see, I told you, I'm just no good at this. But that's not the way to go about it, you see? And so actually, to be a champion, you start out in that V0 or a VB, a beginner. And what you do is you climb all the way to the top and you get up there and you realize that you are a champion. Look, you can climb it to the top, my friend. You start out a little bit easier, less of a challenge. You build up that confidence. Now all of a sudden you talk to yourself like, I may not be able to climb it every time, some of these tougher ones, but I know with time and dedication, I'll be able to get there. So you start having a very much more realistic goals and expectations for yourself. And instead of seeing yourself as a failure because you couldn't do something right away, which is a humbling experience, you actually learn that, wait a minute, that wasn't a failure. That was just the outcome. That was the result. So then instead of looking at your failures, I couldn't get it to the top. What's wrong with me? No. How can I improve? Is it now your self talk is there. Well, is my strength there? Is my flexibility? Is my kinesthetic intelligence, if you will, my body, sliding against this wall and configuring myself to find leverage points? So you start to all of a sudden understand on a larger dynamic, not just squashing yourself down like, I can't do it. It's not for me. So if you want to talk to yourself like a champion, you know that, hey, you keep going back. Hey, I can climb this mountain. So you can relate that to everyday life. You do something that you can achieve at, something that you feel like you've mastered, or something that you can do with ease. And you get to the top, you're like, yes, I can do it. I can do anything now. You have that relate. You have it totally open up and expand into everything. Like, look, I'll show you. I've proved it. I can do it. But if you just, so then you gradually step it up, right? And that's no problem. But if you try something that's too intense and too hard right at the bat, you can totally shut yourself down and shoot yourself in the foot. Because now all of a sudden you're looking, it's like, oh, God, I can't do any of these. You know what I mean? And even if that's the case, it's like, where's your heart at? If you really want to, and you have that talk of a champion, you're going to just keep lighting that fuel of saying, I know I can. Let me just keep practicing. Keep trying. What is it? Keep learning because you're not failing. You just learn it. You have results. You're succeeding at getting these results. Okay? You didn't make it to the top, or you did. What was the cause of that? So now all of a sudden you can take everything instead of being worried about looking like a goof. You also realize that that's what's happening inside of you. You're projecting that on your entire world outside of you. So by doing that, by realizing that, nobody else thinks you're a fool. You see, you look around at like the rock climbing gym, you got people falling all over the place. They're not hanging their head in shame. Just like in life, nobody's really, some people do, and you see this. But then you also see the champions out there who actually they stumble and trip and fall and they pick themselves up real cool. And that's just how you start to master your mentality. It's how you talk to yourself. When you do trip and fall, how do you pick yourself back up? How do you talk to yourself? How do you climb those mountains that you know you can do and feel that? To feel that champion inside you and to just keep bringing that in every aspect of your life. That's the goal for this channel. So I hope this video kind of motivated you and helped you to kind of increase that positive talk because it really makes the biggest difference. And then go and do something that you can accomplish and feel good about yourself. So then you can really carry that onwards. Okay, friends, if you're struggling to climb those personal mountains, you can click on that link below. We'll set up a little 45-minute phone call. I help you get there, my friend. Seriously. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, friends.